Are you going to be a commercial artist or a fine artist? My name is Paul John, and this is Artists Talking. Now, I'm 23, I've been making art for the past 3 years, and I'm from Zimbabwe. And I kind of just made this channel to talk about my experiences and like how I've been navigating and figuring out where to sell my works, how do I make a piece, how do I frame it, how do I gesso it, and how do I kind of make things happen from an African context. I'm self-taught, I learned online by watching other painters, and a lot of the information you get is very Eurocentric and it's not from an African perspective. Yes, it might be good like information in general, but there's never really information that's specific to me as a young contemporary artist. Through these videos, I just kind of want to give advice to like younger artists that are my age or a bit older or just like in the same sphere who are just starting out or just realizing they want to be artists but they don't have a way to, or an end, they don't have an idea of how you can do that from Zim or from Africa. There's not really any public figures that are out there or any role models that are commonly known or that are really famous, that are quite easy to follow. Well, personally, that's what I found. I didn't have anyone who was kind of doing what I wanted to do or who had the same ideas and thought the same way I thought. I lived in South Africa for about 2 years, through 2021 to 2022, and I would work through a lot of different day markets and art fairs and present my work and sell work directly to collectors from London and America, mainly America. And I've kind of come back to Zim to create my exhibition this whole year. I've dedicated that year to just making works to have an exhibition next year. I think what this video mainly is about is, are you going to be a commercial artist or a fine artist? These are the first two questions I think you really need to look at if you are starting to make some work and you want to get into the industry. A commercial artist is someone who makes wall art, or art that is just meant to look beautiful. And it's just meant to look aesthetic. You put it in your house, it's going to look nice. Most people like it. It's very uniform, very standard type of art. Not really original in terms of like content of idea. You're going to see a lot of art like leopards, cheetahs, lions, an African woman with a child on her back, children pushing a tire. These are the type of things you're going to see from a more commercial artist. Things that most people like, it's much easier to sell. You're not selling the value of the artist, more of the technical ability behind it. Anywhere between the range of 10 to 15,000, I've really seen them sell commercial works in Africa. I really haven't seen it happen more outside of that range, but probably exists. I think finer art is when artists imbue their soul into a piece. It's more about what it makes you feel. Does it make you think something? Does it have a clear emotion? It's more composed, it's more attention. You can tell who made this without looking at the signature of the piece. And it's intended to go into galleries. That's the intention you make it for, and you kind of want it to last forever. Typically you work with maybe private collectors, or like I said before, galleries or auction houses for such a type of work. Depending on what your personal background is and what the context is of you starting your artistic career, I would advise different things. If you need to perpetuate your art business, like you're kind of short for cash when you're starting, I would recommend you start off as a commercial artist, just because as you're learning and you're going on YouTube and you're using resources like your pencils, watercolors, paints, or whatever you use, you can really make small pieces and things that you learn that are simple, and yet they teach you stuff, the creation of these simple pieces, but you can easily sell them for cheap, for anything like $20, $50, $30, really small, simple stuff. It can help you get through that learning stage of just experimentation, making a lot of different things before you arrive at your own specific art style. And that could be a really good way to even get your name and just the structures of how you do your art or how you make a piece set in before you're making your own private work, which is a bit harder to sell. If you were more in a position of you got people supporting you, you don't really have bills or money's not that much of an issue, I would recommend you just go into fine art, just because it's more creative and it's more fulfilling. For me personally, that's just what I've seen, and you can go much further than that. The price range of it when it's good is very high. You could literally be selling for ridiculous prices, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the end point of your artistic career, or that's what you can bring it to, which is not, it's a level that you can't get to with commercial art. And I think that's just something you always want to keep in mind, or something that I do keep in mind, is how far do I want to go? Where do I want my pieces to end up? Do I want them to end up in galleries? Do I want them to, I'm just cool with them just being in as many houses as possible and many people having my art? Or it's more of a factor of I want to have my artistic career studied and respected even after I'm gone, when I die. And that's just deciding which one or which side you lean to when you're starting out can really set you up to for the long run. It can really set your structures and things that you're doing with your artistry to reach the end goal. I think just the differentiation between a commercial artist and a fine artist, and knowing what you're doing then and currently why you're doing it. Why am I making this piece? Where is it gonna end up? If you get your brain thinking like that and you're just starting out, I think that's really a mind frame you want to get into. And one of the first things I would do if I decided I want to be an artist, it's just kind of figure out what type of art are we making right now and why. So if you're in the beginning phase, you're going to need to experiment. Everyone needs to experiment. You need to make as much variation of work as you possibly can. I will be making more videos in the future, ranging literally from everything from how you make a frame to where you can sell your art, or what type of art gets sold where. How do you meet curators? How do you meet collectors? And how do you present yourself? How do you make a portfolio? How do you, all like these nitty-gritties. Where do you buy paint? Where do you get it cheaper? A bunch of small things that I think you can only hear from an artist who's in your field. And I'll also be opening up a discussion with other artists, just how they're also navigating the art world, talking to people, going to see galleries, and showcasing other artists' work that I don't think gets shown a lot. Because a lot of the time I'm in spaces where I think these undercover artists deserve so much more traction, and aside from like the social media, they could really do with more attention, because they're really good but they're so low-key. So I'm gonna be introducing you to all the like secret artists I meet, showing you all the works I see from all like the private collectors and all of those different things that I think are just beneficial to see what type of work is out there right now, and how you can use that information to kind of create your own style and your own art, and see how you fit into the bigger scale.